Episode 2: The Rainmaker's Apprentice. As the lean 10-year-old Nigerian boy with sparkling eyes plays his treasured wooden flute barefoot in tattered clothes and close-cropped hair, sad, mournful flute song filled the air over Oraku village. Something wondrous and unexpected occurred. Small droplets of rain began plopping down from the cloudless sky above. At first it was just a few scattered drips striking the parched, cracked earth. But more and more raindrops soon followed, slowly but surely. Before long, a gentle, warm rain was falling in a steady downpour, tenderly soaking the thirsty village. The lean 10-year-old Nigerian boy with sparkling eyes plays his treasured wooden flute barefoot in tattered clothes and close-cropped hair. Soulful melody on his wooden flute seemed to be drawing the life-giving rains down from the heavens themselves. The more he played his lament, the heavier and more insistent the showers became. Within minutes, the rains were pounding down in a glorious deluge that swept over Oraku and the barren lands beyond. Sheets of cool, revitalizing water washed over the cracked soil and withered plant life, slaking their terrible thirst. The villagers rushed out into the downpour, shouting and rejoicing with joy and disbelief. After so much suffering and heat, they were saved by these nourishing rains. Mothers and children danced with elation as they were drenched by the mercifully drenching rain. Over the next few days, the once dust-dry landscape transformed into lush greenery before everyone's eyes. Vibrant plants sprouted anew and wildflowers bloomed amid the grasses. The shriveled trees regained their full crowns of leaves. The depleted rivers and streams surged back to life as rushing currents of fresh, clean rainwater. Fish and aquatic creatures soon returned to these replenished waters, thriving once more. From that miraculous day forward, a lean 10-year-old Nigerian boy with sparkling eyes plays his treasured wooden flute barefoot in tattered clothes and close-cropped hair, earned renown across the land as the boy who brought the rain. His haunting flute music could call down the restorative rains from the most stubborn of drought-stricken skies. Whenever the next dry season threatened to stretch on too long, the people of Oraku and neighboring villages implored a lean 10-year-old Nigerian boy with sparkling eyes plays his treasured wooden flute barefoot in tattered clothes and close-cropped hair to play his rain-summoning tunes. No matter how hot and red the thirsty heavens appeared, his flute's cries could coax them to shed their precious tears of life-giving rain. Over the years, a lean 10-year-old Nigerian boy with sparkling eyes plays his treasured wooden flute barefoot in tattered clothes and close-cropped hair sought out the eldest flute masters, who had inhabited the region for generations. From these wizened keepers of ancient traditions, he absorbed all of their sacred knowledge and songs related to summoning storms and rainfall. A lean 10-year-old Nigerian boy with sparkling eyes plays his treasured wooden flute barefoot in tattered clothes and close-cropped hair proved to be a remarkably gifted pupil. His wooden flute became a conduit through which he could call upon the spirits of the sky, clouds, and rain itself to break even the deadliest of droughts. Stories of the mysterious Rainmaker boy and his magic flute spread far beyond the boundaries of Oraku's grasslands. Tales told of how his mournful melodies could tame the fiercest winds and darkest rain clouds, compelling them to replenish parched croplands and pastures across many kingdoms. As a tall, regal Nigerian man in his 30s with intense eyes, dreadlocks, and ritual markings, wears draped robes and clasps his mystical carved flute grew into a man, he was increasingly summoned by tribal leaders, nobles, and rural villages whenever the skies turned blazing red and the lands grew perilously dry. Some claimed his flute's plaintive wailing could shatter the most stubborn accumulations of thunderheads into life-sustaining showers. Children from all regions became a tall, regal Nigerian man in his 30s with intense eyes, dreadlocks, and ritual markings, wears draped robes and clasps his mystical carved flute. Students, traveling to learn the secrets and spiritual traditions behind controlling the rains through flute music. With devotion and sensitivity, these apprentices absorbed the intricate melodies, rhythms, and rituals for drawing precious water from the very air and heavens. Wherever the dreaded conditions of drought and famine took hold, people knew to summon the revered Rainmaker, a tall, regal Nigerian man in his 30s with intense eyes, dreadlocks, and ritual markings, wears draped robes and clasps his mystical carved flute. At the first hints of vegetation wilting, he set out with scores of his most talented flute players to beg mercy from the skies. A tall, regal Nigerian man in his 30s with intense eyes, dreadlocks, and ritual markings, wears draped robes and clasps his mystical carved flute, and his followers camped at the boundaries separating the lush green lands from the sun-scorched desert wastelands. There they played sorrowful laments and chants on their flutes, exhausting themselves while beseeching the air and clouds to release their burdens of rain. Often it took days or even weeks of ceaseless, mournful flute playing before the first droplets finally materialized. But invariably, a tall, regal Nigerian man in his 30s with intense eyes, dreadlocks, and ritual markings, wears draped robes and clasps his mystical carved flute. Connection to the spirit world prevailed, and the life-sustaining storms poured down in biblical torrents. Floods of rainwater gushed forth, replenishing rivers and refilling aquifers across each drought-ruined valley and basin. Massive walls of storm clouds stretched to the horizons, rumbling with thunder while saturating and renewing the lands with their downpours. In the wake of these rains summoned by flute and chant, arid landscapes rapidly blossomed from desiccated wastes into lush oases. Crops and forages thrived, wild game and cattle grew hefty, and communities that faced starvation now hungered no more. Wherever Emeka's flute rain rituals had resuscitated these dry, dying lands, bountiful harvests and abundance spread. Villages prospered, hunger became just a memory, and the people celebrated their Rainmaker as a living embodiment of the divine.
Please like, comment and share.